Hey trainers, Alakaham here with some more Pokemon video magic, and I created some recordings today that happened to get, I think, some fun, interesting battles utilizing the Community Day Pokemon from today, Eelektross. And one of the uh, ridiculous things that I think makes this video fun is that it is underpowered for the Ultra League, and I'm also running Moveset that's not like the most recommended on PvPoke because I just didn't want to spend my TMs on it. And I thought for funsies I would play a game with it. And as it turned out, I won that first game, didn't record it, and I thought, well, maybe there's something to this, and ended up recording the rest of the set, and it turned out shockingly well. This thing, if you'll pardon the pun, this thing is all right. It's all right. I'm not saying it's great, but it was somehow usable for me in this set. So Eelektross, yeah. And I got a shiny, right? Also, it has garbage IVs. So I'm running a cool looking shiny, terrible IV, underpowered, wrong charge move, Eelektross in this video, and we're just going to see what happens. There's a lot of finagling with this team. As you noticed up front, I had to do things like try and get some catches and try to be really thoughtful about the way that I'm managing my resources like energy and shields. But in this case, that worked out all right. So I've talked my way through this first video. Again, there's only 4 in this set, but they're all from the same set. So you are seeing exactly what happened in the order that it happened, and I'm just adding the vocal commentary over it. And so perhaps like me, you will feel increasingly amazed as this team that really shouldn't be working out actually snags some wins here and there, and I was pretty excited about it. Okay, I know I'm also in a low elo range. I am still going to be amazed at the number of wins that I got with this Eelektross team, and you can be cynical about it if you want to, but I was really surprised. Okay, we have what looks like it should be a good matchup up front with that Feraligatr against the Eelektross. My opponent brings in an Annihilate, and I thought I want to get it maybe into kind of chip range. If they Night Slash me or if they Ice Punch me with the Trevenant, then I'll be okay, but they did work up to a Shadow Ball, so I thought I'll shield. I'll come out of this with energy advantage, and my opponent comes in with a Skeledirge. That's not good for us. We did get them to use a shield, and we're about to throw another Shadow Ball, which would be super effective because they are going for the full farm down, and they get the full farm down. So I'm going to come in with the Eelektross, and I am just guessing they're going to go for double Disarming Voice instead of Disarming Voice, or instead of the Shadow Ball, right? I guess correctly, they try to farm down, and they let me get to a crunch, so I'm able to take this thing out, and then I can immediately swap into my Cresselia to use against the Feraligatr. This is also going to be tricky. I'm glad they're running Ice Beam and not Crunch, because Crunch is no good there. If you're the Feraligatr, you probably want to be throwing straight Hydro Cannons the whole time, because Hydro Cannon cost less energy and you get stab. And I was really, really hoping that a Grass Knot was going to be enough to take out this Feraligatr. It was not. That Feraligatr is hanging on. I have a lot of frustrating moments in these sets where I am throwing a Grass Knot and I'm hoping to one-shot something, and it rudely does not die when I throw my move. So I'm doing a lot of going for the double Grass Knot in these sets rather than just throwing the Moonblast and trying to do big damage or whatever. Okay, so we're up against a Togekiss. Seems like we should, hypothetically, be in the better position, except my Eelektross, again, is underpowered and has terrible IVs. So we're actually dying faster than we are killing the Togekiss. But fortunately, I am able to get to another crunch there, so we do get shield advantage, and we get the Togekiss really low. I'm going to come in with the Cresselia because it's just going to take neutral damage, no chance of getting wrecked with a aerial ace, right? And they have a Typhlosion, which is worst case scenario here. I, like a fool, shield up a Thunder Punch that could have gone fine, and I try to do as much farm damage as I can with the Trevenant, because I know that the Trevenant's fast move, Shadow Claw, is going to be chunking more damage from this Typhlosion. But unfortunately, that's it's not going to be enough to even put it in range to get knocked out by a Moonblast there. Everything that I have, all of the moves are resisted, and my opponent comes in with another Feraligatr. Shouldn't be surprising. Feraligator's a really common player right now. Grass Knot only does half the health on a Feraligatr. That's bananas to me. But Feraligator's amazing, so I guess kudos to my opponent, right? That was a cool team. Didn't work out for me, but really none of these matches should have been working out for me. So, yeah, good game to my opponent there. That was a really cool team. And honestly, it makes sense that I lost, right? Okay, we're coming into another match. We've got a Registeel up front here. And my Cresselia wants absolutely zero to do with that Registeel. So I've kind of just got to stay in with the Eelektross and then use my Trevenant to finish off the Regi after my Eelektross inevitably dies. I go for a Thunderbolt to start with because I'm like, it does more damage and it's stab, but it didn't do as much damage as I wanted it to. Fortunately, this person gets nervous about getting farmed down by the Volt Switch, which is an improvement, right, on the Eelektross. Eelektross still isn't great, but Volt Switch makes it a little bit better. It could, hypothetically, farm down a Registeel in that situation. And once again, we are in a circumstance where my opponent's Switch is a Fire type. That's, again, terrible for us. And my opponent lets through a Shadow Ball. So that's really, really good for me, right? That's a great stroke of luck that they let through the Shadow Ball. And then they shield the Seed Bomb. So that's amazing. I shield up their next move because I'm thinking I've got to like chunk whatever damage I can chunk on this thing with Shadow Claw. There's no way I am farming down with this Cresselia, right? Except for that ends up being exactly what I have to do because I'm going to need energy for whatever's in the back. Lo and behold, it's a Swampert, and I'm thinking Swampert falls over dead anytime it even looks at a grass type. So all I've got to do is fire off this Grass Knot, right? Okay, so we reach the Grass Knot. Things are looking pretty good. Bam, into the red, but not even deep enough into the red that I would be able to farm down. So water types are killing me in this game, even though I'm leading in electric and have something that has a grass move in the back. I'm not going to make it to to the farm down before they get to that move, which is terrible. And my opponent, one fast move away, one Incinerate away from their move. And they start to use the Incinerate, and I am able to farm down with 3 Psycho Cuts. That is unbelievable. So this was a really fun set. I hope you enjoyed watching. Like and subscribe if you want more content like this. And I'll talk to you next time, trainers.